You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, UH fans, and welcome to the 15th Company of Hero 2 beta cast brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, FatalSaint? I'm so happy to be here on a map that we don't normally cast a whole lot of. It's the one map that has developed a reputation very quickly on in Company of Heroes 2's lifespan. Ever since we first saw it in the alpha, Pripyat River has always been the black sheep of the map pool. But there have been some good games on it, and we believe that this is one of those such games.
Yep, we will have Barton taking on as the Axis team against IpKaiFung, who will be playing the Soviets on Pripyat River, and this 1 versus 1. This map now also features as a 2v2 in the map rotation, so yeah, you know, I think it's getting played more. I keep getting it in auto match.
It is coming out quite a lot, but then again, you only really have two choices when it comes to 1v1s, don't you? So
yeah, pretty much. We're at the 5-second mark. You ready to go, Tommy?
I'm ready.
Unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And Barton will be going for a 2-Pio start. He's not building with his initial pioneers. He's just running out to cap. He might be rushing for the center. You know, something I often see is, especially now since they've changed how wire works for the Soviets, just like normal wire now, instead of that wire field that they made in the alpha and the closed beta for a while. You see a lot of people rushing the center, and it kind of looks like both players are actually doing that exact thing.
Yeah, it's not uncommon ever since like people first played this map and saw how sort of choke pointy the center island is. Everybody was rushing to try and get their wire down before their opponent. But IpKai actually stalling to grab a munitions point. He might regret that though, because it does look like Barton is going to be laying some wire. He is trying to lay some wire there, so he's going to try and cut off that bridge. Obviously, wire being even more sort of annoying in Company of Heroes 2 than it was in COH 1 for your opponent to deal with, because wire cutters do not come as standard. They're now a purchased upgrade, much like flamethrowers. And in fact, they replace flamethrowers if you do decide to get them. So
this is actually how it worked in Vico in the beginning of the game. You actually had to purchase cutters to get rid of wire, and then they changed that. So just basically all pioneers, all pioneers and all engineers just come with standard cutters, and hopefully I actually would prefer it that way.
Yeah, I think it, you know, the
speed
old
up the build time of the wire, because the wire
build
build time right now is extremely slow. But give free wire cutters then. You know, that would balance it out, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there would really be a problem with that.
Second pioneer score from Barton is going to the right-hand side solo just to cap, and he has redirected his first tier 1 unit. A Grenadier, he's starting with a double Grenadier build, and he's basically just capping with them and redirected them to the center, while IpKai is actually going down. Instead of going through the center, which he, most likely, through the fog of war, heard the wire going down, he just, you know, went past the bridge instead, just capped that little point there, and he's now engaging these Grenadiers at the munitions point outside of Barton's base.
Yeah, it's our first little skirmish here. Grenadiers versus Combat Engineers. Combat Engineers, not terrible in combat, but far, far outclassed by Grenadiers. Not actually reflected,
nice
though.
crit.
Yeah, very nice little early crit there to knock out one of the Grenadiers.
Now, yes, you can see, you know, the health decline on the Engineers is going quite fast. But luckily for IpKai, no kill criticals until this very moment, where 2 combat engineers goes down very rapidly, and that's the third one going down as well, forcing IpKaiFung to retreat that. But nice stalling, as Barton actually had to leave the capping circle of the munitions. So, you know, it bought IpKai quite a bit of time, I think.
bought him time, and it bought him some manpower there as well with a few nice kills. IpKai moving briskly on, into his first stage of tech, getting his tier 1 building. So no conscript spam from IpKai that we have seen so frequently with 4 or even 5 conscript builds. Instead, he went for a double conscript, double engineer opening, and is now moving into a scout car.
Very, very interesting. Just that thing not going for, the standard 4 conscript build order is quite refreshing to see. The metagame is constantly changing. Something to note as well with the wire, a little trick for you people watching at home that basically are playing the Company of Heroes 2 Open Beta right now, especially if you are starting on the right-hand side, which IpKai is starting at, and you want to wire off the left-hand side bridge entry point to the center. Make sure that you put the wire, you can see the little, basically, the beginning of the stone walls to have the little pillar thing. If you build your wire there, it's actually possible to vault over, because the hedge, between the hedge and that pillar on the top stone wall, there's actually a little gap where you can vault over. I had an opponent wire it off for me, and I just vaulted right over. He just strolled and just kept walking on.
Oh,
and he had no ID.
So
yeah, he had no ID, so his MG was basically, it was actually aiming the other side, the other way. So I just came up behind his MG, and that completely caught him off guard, and he lost that engagement due to that.
Well, a scout car came down, but instantly ran straight into a grenadier, and a Faust got popped away. Scout car actually managing to get back into relative safety here, wasn't actually destroyed, and will now get repaired by this Flamer squad. Launched in a bit preemptively there, I think, sort of running into uncharted territory without any prior scouting. Was never going to end too well. We could even see the very quick end of the scout car if these grenadiers decide to give chase.
Yeah, he can just barely afford using the Faust, as he has planted a Teller mine just at that southern bridge in the center. A Teller mine was the first munition spent by Barton, apart from that Faust fired at the M3 half-track from IpKai. But he does have enough munitions to use another Faust if needed now. He's just at 40 munitions again. With a 37 income, it's, you get quite a lot of munitions quite rapidly.
IpKai is continuing to branch out into different kinds of units here, deciding now to go for a sniper, which is going to join his force. The 2-man Soviet sniper, very powerful, very useful unit that we've seen a lot of really great usage out of, especially the snipers. If you check out our last betacast, I believe it was betacast 14, saw some really great use of snipers, totally shutting down the enemy. But here we go, the scout car is going to roll right over the Teller. Yeah. Oh, and the whole scout car is taken down. That's going to be quite the setback there for what should have been a nice little clown car attack with this Flamer squad.
We have a bunker just to the left of where that scout car went down, with the engagement with the Flamer engineers and these Grens and Pios, and it's turning into a healing bunker.
Ah, forward healing, that can be very useful indeed. And upon seeing it, IpKai decides to get out of there, where he is far, far outgunned. Our first optional unit now.
Sniper goes down on retreat to a nice headshot in the rear of the head of the remaining man on the 2-man sniper team. That's a huge loss.
That's a very big loss. That's a scout car and a sniper going down in quick succession. IpKai choosing to not to rebuild any of those units, but instead has gone for a shock trooper, which is now upgrading and has now finished upgrading to PPSHs.
Yeah, no heavy weaponry on any of the Grens from Barton. In possession of 3 Grenadiers and an MG now, which was the extent of his tier 1, and now his tier 2 building has churned out a half-track as well. And I'm curious to see if he's actually just going to use it as the vanilla version, as, he has been spending his munitions on Teller mine, Faust, that medic bunker as well. So he does not possess enough munitions right now to actually upgrade that to the very common Flammenwerfer that you keep on seeing in every game almost.
Yeah, it's a very popular first take, that Flammenwerfer. It's just so very powerful, and it's one of the few things that the Germans really do have up on the Soviets right now. But yeah, instead he's going to use that. It looks like he's going to be using it primarily to accompany his healing bunker to allow for forward reinforcement and forward healing, which together should be quite powerful indeed.
Second vehicle out from Barton now. A scout car is added to his arsenal. His army is growing very, very rapidly, and he's in possession of an MG that the 3 grenadiers, you know, he made an additional pyro as well, which is now assaulting these shock troopers. Here's a nice grenade, and all of the pyros
Oh,
have
nice grenade! But
that was lucky.
Disappointing.
Yeah, he did a
expecting
lot of health
more.
damage. One squad, but that was basically it. And here comes the MG now, sets up and barely gets a burst off, but he does manage to suppress those shock troops from IpKai. At the same time, the scout car goes into the center to deal with these conscripts, which are now decapping the center VP.
Got to be careful around these scout cars because it doesn't look like it's a very powerful gun on top, but actually it can really tear conscripts a new one if left to just fire and fire away.
At the same time, you gotta be careful. 180 nade basically almost does 50% damage to the vehicle at this point in the beta, and that's quite a bit. And especially with the damaged engine, you can easily continue chasing it with small arms fires. At least if you got, you know, a full man conscript squad at 6 men, you have enough rifles to deal enough damage.
Yeah, we saw just a little bit of conscript firing there. Did quite a lot of damage to that scout car. Yeah, no, it's very lightly armored. We're about to see the first light tank on the field now as a response to that armored car, I imagine, which is going to be an Su-76 coming onto the field now. A little light tank with also the ability to be used like a forward self-propelled gun.
Yeah, it's very good, especially against the half-track and the scout car, the lightly armored German vehicles, but it can't really tank it with anything heavier than that. But at the same time, it's real good, especially against this strong point medic bunker that Barton uses. And IpKaiFung is aware that that bunker is there, so, you know, if he gets lucky and he sees that Barton is actually soft-pedaling away with damaged infantry and maybe can get a nice artillery shot off by that Su-76,
oh, it is using artillery here. Using it on the MG at very close range. Nails one crew member.
Barton is quick on the micro, however, and moves the MG away. Takes one casualty and quite a bit of health damage, though.
But there is a pack coming out from Barton now. He is ready. And the first shell goes into the Su-76, doing very, very strong damage there. He's got to be careful around this pack. Let's see what these shock troopers can do at close range. Probably not a whole lot. Did that pack just kill 2 crew members?
I'm not sure what killed 2 crew members.
Yes, it did. It's got two infantry kills from that one shot firing the shock troopers.
Very lucky. Very lucky indeed.
Oh no, IpKai's replacement sniper running straight into the middle of everything. He could get chased down here by a scout car. One of the crew members goes down, but the second sniper man is going to be able to get out of there just about in the nick of time.
IpKai can really not afford losing another sniper team now. You know, I'm not exactly sure what his complete army is composed of right now, but it feels to me like Barton's army is just bigger, stronger, and better right now.
Oh yeah, it's more diverse and it has a lot more strength right now. IpKai, he's sitting on, well, he's still sitting on quite a wide range of units, and here's another use of that Su-76 long-range artillery here.
Almost nails the scout car, and he could possibly get a nice hit on the pack. If it hadn't moved there, it would have been nailed. Oh wow, that was close as well.
Oh, that was...
It's like homing. It's looking for the pack. It knows it's there. Another medic bunker is set up at this strong point now.
That's a really nasty spot for a bunker right there. That could be very, very brutal when IpKai has to try and push out into this center point now, because IpKai has no choice. He has to try and push back into the central point, because otherwise, well, he's lost entire control of this road, which is really what drives the game here on Pripyat River.
What IpKai really needs, I think, is if he gets rid of the half-track, there's no possibilities of Barton reinforcing in the field here. And we do have the first heavy weaponry on his grenadiers. G43s has been selected, so Jaeger Infantry Doctrine was selected by Barton, so he has the G43s unlocked. He's half a CP away from getting that the sprint ability, or what we call it tactical movement, which costs a small amount of munitions.
Yeah, I like these G43s. They have some really cool abilities. I hope we get to see that use of interrogation, which is not something that we used to yet seen. I don't even know what it looks like, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a nice grenade by the shock troops, but doesn't do a whole lot.
Them. What's up with the shock troop grenades today? They're just not doing it. I've seen the shock troop grenades just decimate P-grants and everything, but I don't know, positioning from the German infantry in this particular battle seems just to be superior to other battles I've witnessed.
Yeah, they're not landing those lovely kill crits. Down here in the south, we've got a scout car harassing some capping engineers, going to force those guys away. But yeah, I don't know what IpKai's going to do right now here. He's sitting in a really bad spot. He's just got a couple of conscripts, one sniper, and the Su-76 and the shock troop to try and break this very, very strong defensive line from Barton.
The Su-76 is going to be a key role unit in breaking this defensive position from Barton. He needs to get rid of the half track so he can't forward reinforce. Then the healing won't matter as much because, you know, if you lose men, you're still going to be forced to retreat after a while. But as long as he can reinforce at this forward position, you know, the thing is, however, with these two munitions points, he's... Oh, that was a nice hit.
That was pink miss right there, and he nails another couple of guys there. Very, very nice. Scout car getting into very close range of the Su-76.
It's upgrading.
Oh, very nice.
Upgrading.
Very nice time for the upgrade.
Cannon. Look at the damage it does to the lightly vehicle, the lightly armored Su-76.
That rear armor is taking a pounding here. He needs to get out of there, but I don't know. What? No! Just in the nick of time, takes out the armored car there before he can kill the Su-76. That was a nice little win there for IpKai.
Gamble from Barton's side, but he really needs to get rid of that Su-76. It is, as I said, just the key unit in IpKai's army right now, combined with the sniper team.
AT grenades have now been teched for IpKai. Yeah, he does need that indeed. These shock troops are not having a good time. Loves another grenade, but it lands well away from any kind of juicy targets there. Now sitting in green cover, but still getting shot at by an MG and does get forced to retreat.
The Soviet sniper team needs to run away as well. It has been spotted by the pack. It took quite a lot of shots at the infantry and the MG from Barton, but he is forced to retreat. But he does live on retreat this time. No headshot on retreat from the Grenadiers this time around.
Yeah, he's still surviving so far. We have, with the third CP, IpKai has unlocked a rather useful ability, which is the conscript repair squad. So now his conscripts can actually repair that Su-76 and keep it in the game. It's worth noting, actually, IpKai he's stockpiling quite a lot of resources here. He's got, and he actually just spent a whole load on an Su-85 tank destroyer is now going to be coming out. That's what he spent all his resources on.
It's going to be good for giving, you know, especially if you use the focus sight ability, you can get that tunnel vision going and you can see way further ahead, but you can't see anything to the sides or your back. But, you know, if he can spot for the Su-76 without the German infantry or any... Yeah, he can spot for the artillery, and at the same time, he has very long range on that Su-85, and, you know, he's going to be able to take out that half-track and the bunkers.
Looks like Barton's not going to just be sitting back idly waiting to be artillery to death, though. He's moving forward once again. I mean, if you look at the map as well, from my point of view, it's turning all red here.
Yeah,
with IpKai just holding a single fuel now up in the top corner. It's a miracle that it hasn't been decapped sooner, actually. But now, Barton beginning to move up very aggressively, practically into the Soviet base here. I don't know whether he might just start blinking away at the Soviet base structures, because he's very much within range.
This is kind of turning out to be some form of a long rail game, basically with a base pin and then destroy the barracks from your opponent with your pack.
Su-76 has been rerouted to the north here to deal with a Pioneer squad.
Highly annoying for IpKai to have to redirect resources to the north just to get rid of this pesky Pioneer squad, which actually gets the cap on the VP before they are forced off by this massive infantry force moving out from IpKai. But, you know, Barton, he is aware that they are there, so hopefully he can prepare and have some form of a defense from his rear, because all of these infantry units are now moving down south to the middle VP.
This could get very bloody for these shock troops. They could be well outnumbered, but they do have a superior cover here in the form of these sandbags, while the Grenadiers are sort of lacking a bit of cover here.
A 3 G43 equipped Grenadiers against one shock troop squad at long range as well.
Was that a...
Whoa! Nice rifle nade.
Nice rifle nade. Very, very nice indeed. That did a lot of health damage. Now he could lose some men here on retreat as they go down. Getting shot at by those G43s. This could be very nasty here. He could even be in danger of losing them.
Luckily enough for those shock troopers, they had elite armor and, you know, they dodge. Is it 1/3 of every bullet or something like that? I can't exactly remember the exact stats. And as this is a beta, even though it's an open beta, stats are changing.
Oh, look at this flank. Look at this flank all the way from right from the rear. IpKai has swung around bringing the Su-76 and the conscripts and his flamers round
It goes
to the rear.
118 aid.
He's damaged the engine, so he's slowed it down now. The pack isn't really in a good position to shoot at the Su-76 either. Said tank just got Vet 2 as well. Now surrounded on both sides, Su-85 on one side, Su-76 on the other. And the flamer goes out of control shortly after purchasing that upgrade, which is rather expensive. And here's a nice use of that upgrade.
Oh, he should have decrewed that pack with that shot. Maybe this one? Nope. Falls a bit short.
Whoa, there we go. That's the money shot he was looking for.
This
and
is
he
a big
actually
break for
destroys
him,
the gun.
Oh, he destroys the gun. That might actually be bad. He could have stolen that. Free pack is always good.
But does he need to steal it? What's going on in Barton's base?
Barton right now is actually, he's been taking to tier 4 this entire time, and he's got the first Panther producing, but it's going to be a little while before we see it on the field. But now he needs it. Without the pack, he has nothing against the armored vehicles apart from these soft counter Faust from the Grenadiers. That's it.
This Su-76 took a Faust in the rear, didn't take too much damage, but did slow it down sufficiently. He might even try and pop off another Faust here, just to try and keep it from getting repaired.
Yeah, Vet 2 actually giving him a weapon damage buff, and at the same time reduced damage taken as well. So more survivable and a little bit more damage for his Vet 2, and at the same time his Vet 1, at Vet 1 you get an ability. Here's the Panther now out from Barton. It's just rolling up from the base, and he's going to be looking for some nice soft targets. Especially his Su-76, which is just completely outgunned against something like a Panther. The Su-85 still can tangle with it somewhat, but in a 1 versus 1 environment, it's just not going to happen.
Whoa, it's another nice use of the artillery barrage here. There's a lot of infantry to get nailed. This MG is going to be really careful.
MG doesn't know where to go, but yeah.
Whoa, one Grenadier squad got nailed there.
Nice. We did have ambush camouflage upgraded on Barton's MG. Jaeger Infantry Doctrine allows you to do this with your Grenadiers, P-Grants, and MG crews, I think. They cloak in cover, passive cloak.
Ah, that's pretty nifty for MGs to be able
to cloak. It's very cool for MGs, yeah, extremely cool. You never know where the MG is at. Here comes the Panther now into the battle, and IpKaiFung is not properly prepared. He's got on a second sniper team, and that Su-76, which was a very useful tool for IpKai, now is destroyed, abandoned only so far.
Nice AT grenade goes in. It's now Su-85 versus Panther. Su-85 doing a pretty good job though so far, putting up a good fight, bouncing a lot of those Panther shells.
He's getting Fausted just as the Panther got 18-aided, but these Grens are now going to be forced to backpedal away as these shock troopers comes in from the rear. Big battle, just never seems to end. The shock troops are forced to retreat. Eventually, the conscripts are just taking quite a lot of flak, and as there is a new half-track in Barton's army, he is able to reinforce in the field yet again.
Grenadiers now moving up into close range here, popping off another Faust here onto this Su-85, not doing a whole lot of damage, but slowing it down a little bit.
Just not doing enough.
I wonder if anyone's going to try and take out that abandoned Su-76.
I don't know, I think they're busy right now shooting at each other. You know, we'll deal with the tank carcasses later. At the same time, we have an engineer just chilling out that actually grabbed the middle VP, so the drain is back on Barton, which is right now down to 366 VPs compared to IpKai's 396, so it's very close when it comes to VPs.
Oh, and the Su-76 does bite the dust, gets taken out by the Panther. I'm just looking at this Panther, it's like Disco Panther. It's all glowing.
Glowing. We do have the light.
Oh boy, that Su-85 is in serious problems now. Goes out of control, there it goes. Goodbye, Su-85. It was nice knowing you. You did a very good job, but I think IpKai is getting ready now to bring in something a little bit heavier to the field because he has just unlocked one of my favorite, if not my favorite tank in the entire game. It's the ISU.
ISU 152 on the field. from IpKaiFung, the big bad boss on the battlefield from the Soviets, are on the field right now. I think I much prefer the ISU in front of the IS-2.
Oh yeah, definitely. The IS-2s are much more fun. I mean, they're different roles, I suppose. The IS-2 is more of a main battle tank, sort of in line with the Pershing from Vico. It's
similar, yes.
It's decently killing infantry, decently killing tanks.
Oh, look at that range! Do you see that?
Was that the...
The
Holy...
half-front! It was the ISU. Oh, he's firing at something else now. The Grenadiers capping, I think they're firing at. Here comes the Panther right now. It's going to go in and try to fight this ISU, most likely. And it's going to be able to actually combat it.
Oh, use some Blitzkrieg here.
Good.
Wow, look at how quickly that Panther goes
Yeah.
with that Blitzkrieg there. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh!
Oh!
Double sniper crush. That was painful to watch.
Oh, I think I just... Oh boy. That was horrendous right there.
You know, in a moment like that, I would most likely take my headset and just throw it on the floor and leave.
I'd be done. I'd be done with not just the game, I'd be done with life right there. That would just... That's just not fair.
However, this Panther now might find it troubling to actually leave the base, as it's not getting any support. The rest of Barton's units are basically just chilling at where they were at their strong point before. You know, he is moving over the bridge now, but he's not going to be able to actually help out this Panther, as the base is covered by the base MGs from IpKai.
Now the hunted has become the hunter. The ISU chasing the Panther. Not, as you'll see, it's not doing a whole lot of damage, but the ISU is actually unlocked, or not unlocked, but it comes with the ability to fire this concrete piercing round. One good against hidden targets and battlefield obstacles. So I'm not quite sure.
No, I've used it. It's super awesome. It's my favorite ability in the whole game. You can, you know, quite literally shoot through obstacles on the field, like, say, a building, for example, which would, technically, if you just used attack move on a building, it would just shoot at the building. And even if you used attack round on the other side of the building, it would still just shoot at the building. You know, it would just hit the first wall that it would actually hit.
Yeah.
But with the concrete round, just keeps traveling.
Oh, that is awesome.
Basically,
What you mean? It
you
goes
shoot
through
straight through a
walls.
building. Yeah.
Oh,
you can
that's
shoot
so
on
cool.
other things on the other side of the building. And I used it once or twice against, like, you know, I had a stormtrooper squad from our opponent hiding behind a building. I knew they were there. I knew he was chilling out. They were standing quite close to each other as well. And the splash damage is quite good as well. And basically it just shot through the first wall, traveled through the second wall, out the other side of the building, and blew up the Panzer Grenadiers.
That's so cool. Whoa, Grenadier squad goes down there. He stuck around a little bit too long. Barton was trying to do something a little cheeky there. He was trying to pop up a rifle nade at all those repairing conscripts.
Shot them actually.
Blobbed up.
But IpKai moved out of the way. This ISU now is a bit problematic for Barton. He needs to get his Panther fixed up ASAP, and right now it's getting triple repair by his 3 Pyos. But I'm not exactly sure if it's gonna be able to go back into combat quickly enough before IpKaiFung recovers and takes most of the map back. He tried to go for the south with his combat engineers, but luckily for Barton, he had redirected one of his scout cars down there.
ISU, it's just... I just love the sound of it. I love everything about the ISU. It just makes me smile to see it. It's so like, oversized. It's almost comical.
It's beastly.
Takes down a bunker pretty well too.
It's kind of like looking at an elephant. It's quite comical, as you say. It's just so big. Easily, both of those tanks are just slow. Well, that's a bit big. Did it really have to be that big?
And there it goes. The bunker goes down, and I sort of get the impression that Barton is sort of thinking, "What the hell do I get to counter this?"
Well, his first unit out for quite a while now is actually, he has focused on getting some artillery. So Panzerwerfer out from his tier 4 building has actually been produced. And I see that IpKai is actually banking on more AT against his Panther that he knows is still alive somewhere.
Yeah, he can't be too careful. Nice job to get another Su-85 there to compensate. Su-85 not being a bad tank against Panther. It won't beat it in a 1v1, but it will contribute. That plus the ISU ought to be able to keep it at bay.
Barton fire blindly with his first Panzerwerfer barrage into the center, the munitions point on IpKaiFung's side of the river.
Yeah, I think he was looking for a bit of scouting there, so he knows where this Panther's going, because the Panther's just charging right in here. This could be dangerous. He's walking right into the jaws of death.
He doesn't know that the Su-85 is there now combined with this ISU.
Well, he's
Just
going for the
gonna use
Blitzkrieg, trying to flank it, but he's run into something of a brick wall.
You silly Panther, you're not a T-34, you can't ram tanks. That's not gonna work.
He's
Yeah,
trying valiantly though.
Look at how fast it's reversing.
That's pretty nuts, I gotta say.
That is nuts.
G43 is now moving back into the center. 2 Grenadiers at Vet 2 with G43s versus the Vet 2 Shock Troop. Don't know who's gonna win this, but IpKai doesn't fancy it. He's gonna retreat there. Not even
There was a
gonna
third
bother with a
squad
grenade.
capping the VP as well. He was properly outgunned.
Oh, a couple of Grenadiers went down there. One shot from the ISU is enough. Oh! There go the other 2 members.
Well, they blow up.
Yeah, it was one shot took out 2 of them, and the second shot took out the other 2.
Yeah, you better run right quickly when an ISU is firing at you. We had MG that was actually capped the northern VP on IpKai's side. He remains there, set up now, guarding this VP. Barton wants to drain IpKai out of his remaining 280 VPs as quickly as possible. And to do that, he is trying to actually hold all 3 VPs simultaneously.
Panzerwerfer fired again blindly and again hit virtually nothing but thin air there. Su-85 and ISU emerge virtually unscathed.
Every time I hear a G43 rifle firing, it's like snipers? No, that's not a sniper team. It's a grenadier.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's for someone
Very similar.
Yeah.
Somewhat different. I think maybe the audio level of it itself might be
well, that's the thing.
bit
I mean,
lower,
the
I'm not
G43s,
sure.
they are sniper rifles. I mean, that's what the German snipers use. They were the scoped G43s.
just with the scope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuka Close air support has been unlocked and is actually now Barton can afford it, so he could use that in some major engagement, which would most likely tip the tide into his favor.
Oh, and check this out. I like this. There's a demo charge been laid on that southern bridge there in the center.
I saw that before. Very, very cheeky. If he
Cloaked as
catches
well.
the yeah,
when that Panther comes and blitzkrieg
the Panther,
along,
that's
going,
gonna be horrifying loss. It's gonna be a horrifying loss for Barton if that happens. Oh, he's actually going for it.
Oh, come on. Get, go.
Oh, there it goes! Panther explode, bridge taken out. That right there is...
That's how you blow a bridge.
Game-winning move almost from IpKai right now.
Oh, we have a plane coming in from Bonn. It's a big old strafing run.
Yeah, it's the Stuka Close air support firing its 37mm cannons on the targets here. It's not gonna do much against the heavily armored ISU though. See,
Well,
a little
you
bit
say
of
that,
damage.
but yeah, it's not bad. When it comes into the rear armor, it's not to be sniffed at.
No, it's totally okay. Combat engineers from IpKai grabbing the middle VP. At the same time, Panzerwerfer is now firing into the center, most likely around this munitions point at the Su-85 again. Gonna be able to move out of the way, however.
Here comes an Su-85 down the middle once again. Not sure what he's out hunting.
He wants the Panzerwerfer, I think.
Ah, the Panzerwerfer, that would be quite a nice thing to bag. Although that said, the Panzerwerfer hasn't really done very much so far. I remember them being incredibly overpowered in the Alpha. But since then, they've sort of lost a little bit of their usefulness.
I just saw the little house at the North VP almost getting taken out by a single shot from the ISU. The MG actually managed to get out of there though. But the shock troops with the VP manages to close the distance before getting suppressed. Might take him on retreat.
No!
Might. The ISU
Just nailed him. Like I think the shell went inside the crew member because there was no like air like splash.
No.
It just like hit the crew member in the head.
and it vaporized.
Just like beheaded him. It's Panther versus ISU now. It's a fresh Panther rebuilt to go and hunt out, get some revenge for his
Su-85
lost brother.
taken out very easily as the Panther was continuously just pursuing it. He couldn't get away. He just couldn't get away.
Yeah, it was a nice little reversing job there by IpKai. I suppose that's one of the that he might have been using the new reverse command that you have in Company of Heroes 2, which is actually really handy because reversing in VCO is never that intuitive. Like you could set the commands perfectly and it would still cause your tank to do silly things. Oh, this Panther could soon meet his maker. 18-8 into the rear here.
Maybe. Oh, that sniper, go away, sniper, run! Don't get crushed by the second Panther.
Oh god.
Yeah, he does retreat.
Who knew Panthers were so good against snipers?
Well,
whoa! Nasty Panzerwerfers raises part of the forest here. Now is Panther using Blitzkrieg once again to try and get around behind the back of this ISU, which is now getting pretty low health himself. Whoa! Whoa, look at that! Look how cool that is. The flamer just died and he set the tree on fire when he died.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they
oh no! Was that friendly fire? That was friendly fire! The ISU... the SU-85 just killed his ISU.
I do believe that was exactly what happened right there. I was actually looking at that engagement, following the Panther around to see who was gonna win, and he basically had it because the ISU had no main gun, so he would have most likely taken it out either way. But yeah, that was friendly fire.
Yeah, you can actually see it on the kill.
Friendlies killed one.
Friendly killed one, yeah.
And not any friendly. It was the ISU.
Some smoke getting thrown here by IpKai. IpKai making a lot of use of this smoke. I'm not sure what the purpose is.
Well, yeah, the smoke works differently from Vico, obviously. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, obviously now that they have the true sight mechanic, smoke actually works like smoke. It prevents your units from being able to see through to the other side. So if you, whereas in Vico, if you threw down smoke, obviously your troops could still see, and you as the omnipotent commander could still see what was going on behind the smoke. But there would just be a blanket received accuracy nerf to any projectiles fired through the smoke. But now it actually prevents you from firing through, and I just saw the longest
18-8 ever
in the world.
I saw that too. That had some traveling distance to it.
Why do the Russians not play baseball? They can throw an 18-8 that far.
Maybe they are all baseball players. You know, they conscripted basically everyone.
Maybe. Maybe they had a secret conscript baseball league. Like all the guys who were really good at throwing 18As, they all became top pitchers.
I think this conscript squad is just continuously gonna pursue this scout car until he can get another 18-8 off on it. But True Sight is most likely stopping him right now, and here comes the little Pyro Blob from Barton to chase them off, and that saves that scout car, and he might actually pay with his Vet 2 conscript for chasing that scout car for that long.
No, he's going to be able to get away. I like this triple Pyro Blob that the Buttons had around for a little while now.
Just little repair blob.
Here comes the Panzerwerfer once again. Don't know what he's firing at. There's nothing really here. There's
center munitions at IpKai's side again.
Not a bad thing to shoot at.
Light artillery barrage is used somewhere. It's in the center,
it's in the center. Yeah, because IpKai was capping, but he was close capping, so I guess Barton was just throwing it down in the hope of being able to nail something.
He wants to continue the drain on IpKai down to 143, 142 VPs now.
Oh no, the snipers reveal themselves. One of them gets headshotted instantly by the G43s.
This is gonna be a hard retreat for that lone sniper. Oh, he's getting lucky. He's dodging every single bullet.
Escapes.
Yeah,
that 3 shock troops.
Could have gone either way, really. Could really have gone either way. But yeah, Vet 3 shock troops now from IpKai. They're easily going to be able to take on these, even the G43 equipped grenadiers, especially at close distance.
Oh yeah, these guys are going to be very, very tough. I mean, the PPSHs alone are pretty damn potent, but now it's going to be, I mean, it's elite armor with the veterancy as well. Going to make them very, very strong indeed.
Yeah, basically all the Soviet, as we saw in the previous shoutcast, the 2v2 on Moscow. Was it a penal battalion that was Vet 3, I think? They also get basically the same buffs. Some weapon damage increases, but mainly durability increases, so survivability.
That was a nasty Panzerwerfer barrage right there, taking down a couple of very, very valuable Vet 3 shock troops, which are now just sort of charging into the center here.
They are after the pack, I believe. Yeah, without any difficulties. Look at that damage. Look at that damage.
Yeah, no problem at all
so quickly.
How long will he leave them in the field? Throws another grenade, easily dodged there by Barton. And time for that little escapade to end.
Here comes yet another Panther from Barton. Third one now actually out from Barton. Maybe, you know, the two last ones did their jobs, I guess. They most likely it would have been better if they survived, but, you know, they got the kills done before they actually paid with their lives.
Yeah, I'd say especially that first Panther got very, very high meta. I mean, it was only the fact that demo took it out. That was what really did it. But here we go, SU-85 plus 18 nades, forcing the Panther to back away. I love, yeah, the SU-85s, you know, it's doing good frontal armor damage. You know, the Panther's got strong armor, but evidently the SU-85 fires even stronger projectiles.
It's good against the Panthers. It's what I have found, except for the super tank call-ins, like the ISU, which is okay against the Panther. You kind of do a bit of splash damage to it now and then, etc. It's not super reliable. Same with IS2. They're fairly evenly matched. Some bullets or some shots from the IS2 will penetrate the frontal armor of a Panther. Some will ping and some will miss. But what I've found is that the SU-85s quite reliably handles a Panther. It's kind of the go-to unit. You kind of have to get this go-to unit when you're fighting a Panther.
Yeah, it's sort of it's quite economical as well. It's sort of like the Stug of the Soviet army. You know, it's a nice economical tank destroyer. It won't beat out what you're trying to kill in a 1v1, but with proper support, it's a very nice little dinky unit.
Yeah, neither should it, especially since it's cheaper than the Panther. So
much cheaper,
you know,
yeah.
One of them should not beat out a Panther outright. That would just be completely bad balance. But yeah, IpKai is trying to regain this northern VP. Barton just keeps sending units over there to decap, and at the same time, when IpKai redirects forces over there, you know, he grabs the center. Very, very good micro-managing match between IpKai and Barton.
Yeah, it's still really not clear at all who's actually going to take this at the end of the day. I mean, it's sort of, I don't know. I mean, I think another ISU, if when IpKai can afford it, will probably give him quite a nice boost. But he still needs to wait for some more fuel, because he's on 180 and he needs 215. So, but if he can get another one, which I suspect he is floating for, because he's got quite a lot of manpower saved up as well, that could really tip things back into his favor. Very nice use of these shock troops here. They're practically a one-man army now.
Yeah, they are. Literally a one-man army. They have such durability boost due to Gen 3, so it's very hard for these Grenadiers to deal with them. There's a nice hit in on that half-track after the pack was deep through. Nice grenade.
Destroys the half-track, sorry.
We should also mention that today it is Friday the 14th, is it?
Yes, it's Friday the 14th, and by the time you're seeing this, it will be just a few hours until our sign-ups open for the TFN World Championship 1v1 tournament. This is a huge tournament with a $1,000 prize pool that we've been preparing for months.
Above $1,000.
Oh yeah, more than $1,000. That's just the first place. I mean, it's going to be really huge, and so we've over the last week we've sent out 16 invites to some of the top COH and COH2 players. Who are going to be playing, and then it's going to be a 128 player tournament. So there are a number of other places still up for grabs, and at 1600 hours GMT, we will open up the sign-ups for anyone on a first come first served basis. So make sure that if you're watching this, it should only be sort of 3 or 4 hours until the sign-ups open. So make sure you're there.
Yeah, there's gonna be, apart from these 16 invitees, there's 112 slots to fill. So, you know, you gotta be fairly quick. We are expecting it to fill up quite rapidly.
Very rapidly. We're expecting a
128, it's not that many.
For the places, so...
Yeah, it's not that many, especially not if you consider what Duffy said on, I think, Twitter the other day, that Company of Heroes 2 open beta in the early stages had about 10,000 concurrent users on at the same time. So, you know, 128 slots minus 16 for the invitees doesn't leave many slots for everybody to play with.
No, it does not.
So we're firing against these two snipers, I believe, and IpKai actually retreats as he hears that artillery firing in the distance in the fog of war. But Barton now actually extending up to the north as well, grabbing that VP yet again, and he's gonna put IpKai below 100 now.
He's putting him in a bit of a chokehold here. I mean, the coveted ISU has now arrived, but it's just a case of being able to break out here. I see another little couple of squads here moving out into the south. There is a scout car to try and stop them. Don't know if it'll be enough though. 118 goes in.
I don't think so. The Pio Blob is not there to save it this time either, so combined with that extra squad, the combat engineers, they did some small arms fire damage to it. But you know, this conscript squad is vet 3. It should easily, with the only small arms fires now, actually be able to kill it. I don't think it even would require the second 18 aid, unless it can microwave away in time.
He's getting very low just from small arms fire.
Oh, vet 2. Vet 2 might actually save him, considering it gives him a reduction to damage taken, so technically more HP. And here comes a half-track loaded with a Grenadier squad with G43s from Barton now, and that scout car magically somehow survives.
Wow, that has just a sliver of health, but it's going to be able to
It's a
get away
cat.
there.
It got 9 lives or something.
Whoa, check this out. We have a Panther going very, very deep from Barton. Don't know what he's looking for, but he's gone in really far into enemy territory. He could potentially outflank both the ISU and the SU-85. It'll be quite a feat of micromanagement if he can out-micro both tanks at once. But this could be quite a decisive move from either player here, depending on how it goes. Both sides really heavily relying on their late-game vehicles at this point in the game.
Combined with this half-track at the southern VP, IpKaiFung manages to actually cap it, but combined with a nice rifle nade and the possibility of reinforcing in the field, even these vet 3 conscripts are forced to retreat eventually.
Here come the tanks now, and I can see that Panther on the mini-map is just creeping up into the rear. Oh, and here comes...
used.
Here it comes the Stuka. And here's the Panther right into the rear. I bet IpKai didn't expect that at all. Gonna try and he's going after the SU-85 first. That's a good choice there because the ISU can't do a whole lot to him. It's only the SU-85 that can really damage him.
At least reliably, and you know, a lot of damage as well.
Coming around for another circle strafe here. SU-85 taking a lot of damage at point blank range here, unable to do too much to the Panther.
Oh, it gets a bounce on the frontal armor of the Panther before it gets taken out. ISU gets a nice hit on the rear armor, but it does very little to the Panther. And the Panther's just going to shrug it off and most likely try and go after this as well. With circle strafing, he will easily be able to take out these ISU.
This ISU doesn't have much long to live. Getting outflanked here by this Panther at point blank range, unable to do much against his aggressor, while that Panther is doing an awful lot of damage.
What did ISU just do? It just shot past the Panther? What the hell? I think did he use the concrete round or something? I'm not sure what this ISU is doing right now.
I have no idea.
He's having a stroke.
He seems to be a little confused about what to do, but it doesn't matter because he goes down spectacularly.
That ISU driver had a stroke.
Yes.
That was something wrong with that guy.
But on the other hand,
he was wearing one of those hats. Yeah, he's wearing one of those hats. There's something wrong with this guy hat.
What, the dunce hat?
Yeah.
the little cone with the D on it. Mud daddy, let me drive this tank.
I had training for 2 weeks.
My mom says I'm good.
Well, at least IpKai has the drain stopped for now as Barton is moving back onto the field, but he has lost most of his vetted units, apart from this scout car, which is vet 2, and one of the Pio squads from Barton. All of his vetted grenadiers are dead. He has one with vet 1, but that's basically a fairly new squad compared to the one he started out with. Second Panther now out as well, just to seal the deal most likely. We do have an SU-85 out from IpKai, but it's not going to be enough against 2 Panthers, no way.
No way. I can't help but feel that perhaps maybe at some point a backtech to tier 2 for AT guns might have done him well, you know, just because he was fighting just sort of a constant stream of Panthers. But
yeah, especially with the 6-man crews. They're good against Panthers.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to be able to snipe them. They can kill one guy and it doesn't really matter. There's still 5 guys to take his place.
I think this could be the killing blow here. Barton wants to try and seal this deal once and for all. This is not the first time that he's gone into the base. Previous times it's ended in tragedy, but here he goes, blitzkrieging past with his lower health Panther, finding the SU-85, trying to circle strafe it here, playing very, very aggressively right into the Soviet base here.
same time, Barton is reclaiming the center VP with some Grenadiers, and before he has time to extend up to the north with his MG and his second Grenadier squad, IpKai actually drops from the game.
Probably a sensible choice.
He was thoroughly outgunned in the base,
sealed.
that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
2 Panthers, 1 Su-85. It's not a good mathematic formula for the Soviet player.
And that was a great game, though. It was really sort of a high-skilled game, a sort of a very competitive game as well, which is the kind of replay that I really hope we get to see a lot of in our tournament upcoming on June 28th. That's, you know, if we can get a lot of games like this, especially on a map like Pripyat River, you know, I think it really says something about the game.
Yeah, there are massive possibilities with competitive heroes too, and there has been a balance patch not long ago, most likely, when this video actually airs on YouTube, and you know, hopefully there will be more balance patches, just like with Vico. There was loads of balance patches in the early stages of the game's history.
Yeah, They do have an extensive list of things to be rolling out in the first couple of months after release. So do keep your eyes peeled, and the future, I think, is definitely looking very, very bright for Company of Heroes 2.
Indeed it is. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like this video, tell your friends, and we'll see you guys later.
See you guys.